So we have some DD combos here, courtesy of Duncan, and shoutouts to him, of course. So this is just a couple of different combos that you can do post link format, Master 04 and stuff, and some of this utilizes Electromite, well, basically all of it. There's also some more of a warrior heavy deck with things like Armageddon Knights and stuff, and I'll show the deck lists at the end. But yeah, I've got 5 different combos here, and again, just bearing in mind that before we begin, I'd just like to preface this by saying that DDD is a very like complex deck, and it's very combo heavy. So a lot of these hands are like 3-4 card combos, and it really just depends on your hand and how you can reach them, because you have a lot of searchers in your deck, so that's obviously really good because you can get to a lot of these different combos like with basically any hand. It's just a case of, you know, which combo and which end field do you choose to go with. So let's just begin with the first one here, and this one requires you to open Shrine, Kepler, and Lamia, and I'll point out at any point if there's any different variations and stuff that you can do with this, just because of the fact that, you know, for example, sometimes you can replace Kepler with Gate, you can replace Swirl with Gate, and like all these kind of different things. So just bear that in mind and try them out for yourself and do some test hands, and you can see what it's like. So for this first combo here, your end board is going to be Decode, rank 4 with Darkworm as a material, a level 8 Synchro, and a DD Crow in hand, or Resolving Princess Sprite with 1 draw and Gate 0 and Thomas in the skills. So it's a pretty good one here. First of all, you start off with the regular Shrine plays with Darkworm. If you don't know what Darkworm does, when it's in the graveyard you can special him, and he searches a Supreme King card. So this gets your Gate 0, it's a 0 scale, which is very important in this deck. And then you normal summon Kepler, adding the Gate, and Gate gets you to Copernicus. Now you're going to link summon into Electromite. The advantage, of course, with DD is that a lot of them are basically pendulum monsters, and I think this is probably the better way to take the deck in this direction. There was someone that managed to get quite far at YCS Atlanta playing a more pendulum heavy variant. But yeah, you go into Electromite, sending the Thomas from your main deck to the extra, and then you scale Copernicus, adding back the Thomas that you just sent, and this gets you a random draw. So of course, again, like this combo can change depending on what you have drawn, but we're just going to consider this a blank card for now. So now you scale the Thomas, and then you use its effect to add back a DD card from your extra, in this case Copernicus, and then you scale the Gate 0, and then you pendulum summon your 3 cards. Kepler, this was the card we drew off Electrum, so again it's just a blank card here, but this can extend to whatever depending on your hand. So we pendulum summon, as well, of course, the other Kepler in our extra, and then Copernicus sends Necroslime from your main deck to the grave. And now at this point you go for the Lyralus monster to guarantee you some value, so you can search the DD Crow. But if you choose to make Princess Sprite at that point, that's fine. You can maybe get lucky, get like a random power spell, like Desires or whatever. But also you could maybe potentially send something to your graveyard that you can use with Necro or whatever for later. Again, I just want to make very clear, it really all kind of depends on your hand with this deck. So you use the effect to search the DD Crow, make sure that you detach the Lamia, it's very important that she's the one in the graveyard. And then you link those away into Decode, link 2+1 to effect monsters makes Decode. And then you use Necroslime to bring out Dark from your extra in the graveyard using Kepler as a material. And then Lamia specials herself, sending the sending the Gate from the field, and you synchro into Siegfried. And at this point it really just depends on what you feel is more valuable. Your graveyard is quite empty, so maybe you could consider going Omega, so you can send the Necro back to your graveyard on your opponent's standby phase, just so you have a follow-up for next turn. Or if you prefer the spell negate, spell or trap negate, then that's also obviously very powerful. So again, it's just up to you and for you to kind of decide on that judgment. And then finally, you can also end with a rank 4. Tornado Dragon is very generic, but you also have the option of playing Evil Swarm Nightmare, which is a very powerful rank 4 monster that can basically Book of Moon your opponent's Pendulum Summon. So that's a very cool option that you can do as well. So this is your end board as Decode, Siegfried, a rank 4 Evil Swarm Nightmare or Tornado with a Search DD Crow in hand, which not very good against magicians really. It could be okay if they open Shrine or some kind of Dartworm play, but yeah. So for the next combo, it's going to end on Isolde, a level 8 Synchro, Beatrice, and Armageddon Knight in hand. So I've explained the basics, so I'm going to go through this one a little bit faster, and feel free to pause at any point. Again, this one just depends on your hand. Armageddon Knight, Gate, and whatever missing piece here, so Swirl, Necro, or Lamia, depending on what you're missing at this point. So he sends Malicious. Malicious specials itself from the deck, making Isolde. Isolde gets the Armageddon Knight from the deck, and then you fuse Swirl Slime and Lamia into Genghis. Use the Malicious Engrave to special himself. Make Beatrice. Beatrice can send Necro Slime, and make sure you detach the Genghis, not the Malicious, so you have fuel for your Necro Slime. Necro Slime brings out Dark. Lamia synchros into Siegfried. So your end board there is Beatrice, Siegfried, and Isolde, and this would obviously, for this to be very powerful, you would want to main deck something like Farfa or Shadow Dragon to disrupt your opponent's plays. Now for the next replay, this one ends with the Archfiend Link, a rank 1, a level 8 Synchro, and DD Crow in hand, or a draw. So again, this depends on what missing piece you have. Kepler for Gate, getting Necro Slime, fuse the Slimes into Genghis, and then you use Swirl Slime's Grave effect, like a Stygian Street Patrol for DDs, to special Lamia from your hand. You bring out the Necro with Genghis, and then you make the Archfiend Link using Genghis and Necro as the materials. Now at this point, you can choose to go for a rank 1 or a Formula Synchron. It's really up to yourself, depending on your hand. Getting the DD Crow in this variant here. Necro Slime bringing out Dark, and Lamia going into Siegfried. You can use the Archfiend Link effect. I won't explain it, you can read it for yourself. It's very risky, but if you're feeling lucky, it might be okay at this point. But if you make Omega and you send the Necro Slime, you probably shouldn't use this effect to make sure that you've got fuel in your graveyard for next turn as a follow-up. So, next combo here. So this is a 3-card combo with the 4th card just being a random sort of anything really. It's discard fodder basically. So Kepler, get your Gate into Necro, fusing the Slimes into Genghis, using the Street Patrol effect to bring out Lamia, and then you make the Link and summon Genghis, Synchro Genghis into Power Tool Dragon, which reveals 3 DDRs. DDR Pitch Upstart, or whatever it was that you drew, random card, to bring back Genghis. Lamia specials itself, triggering Genghis to special the other Genghis, making Beatrice and Crystal Wing. I've used Beatrice on my own turn here, just to put Necro in the grave, so you have follow-up for next turn. And on your opponent's turn, like I said, you might want to play something like Farfa to disrupt their plays. For the final combo here, we have Thomas, Slime, and Kepler. Kepler with the Gate, getting your Ragnarok. You scale Ragnarok, fusing with Thomas. Genghis hits the field, triggering Ragnarok in your scale, specialing Thomas from your graveyard. This triggers Genghis to bring back the Slime. Now you link the Slime and the Genghis into the Archfiend Link. Thomas using its effect on the scale. And then you use Kepler and Thomas for Electromite. Electromite sending Copernicus. Popping the Ragnarok on the field to add back Thomas. Thomas scaling itself to add back Kepler. And now you have a 6 and 10 scale. Link away the Archfiend Link and the Electrum into Skulldeat. Obviously you're not going to get the good effect here, but we're trying to create zones. And then you Pendulum Summon. And when Ragnarok is special tier, he gets to bring back Genghis. And then you end with a rank 8. So a little bit weaker, but 38 is pretty good, and depending on the rest of your hand, you might be able to extend this Genghis into something more useful. So those are the combos, and yeah, the deck list is very sort of generic. There's two versions. So there's the more pendulum heavy one, which is this one with the dark worms. So pause the video here, take a look at it if you like. And for the second version, it's sort of like the warrior kind of focused one with the toolbox kind of giving you more graveyard plays, more rank 6 access, and the power tool play is really what this is kind of like more focused on. And obviously Isolde being a very, very powerful monster. So these are the two lists. Again, pause the video to have a look for yourself. The extra deck can be pretty flexible, while also a little bit tight at the same time. In the more pendulum heavy one, you do make rank 4s fairly often, so maybe you can consider playing a Baguska. You maybe could cut something like Scarlight perhaps if you want to play another rank 4. But yeah, these are the DD combos. Again, shout out to Duncan. Let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you next time.